Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Alex again with a how-to for mounting your prop shaft or installing your prop shaft. I got kind of excited since my last video, and I finished the whole ship, and she's been on the water already. But you know, but I can still show you how to do this. And I found some problems that I wouldn't have found if I had done this while I was building the ship. So there's some pros and cons to that. But so here, I'll show you what I did. So here's mine, and that's pretty much all it is. So I'm going to go into how to mount it. With your ship, you should have got a set of ship plans that's to actual scale of your ship. That means you can put your any piece of your ship down on the plans, and it'll match the same size. So what you want to do is you want to measure on your plans where your prop shaft is going to be on the back of your ship, and you want to see it's really hard to see in there, but you want to make sure your prop shaft is pretty parallel to the water as you can, as straight as you can, because if it's angled down too much, you're going to be pushing, when you start going, you're going to be pushing the nose down of your ship, and you could sink yourself, especially if you get a lot of water in there. So we don't want that. But so all you do is just look on your plans and find where you want to drill the hole in the back of your ship, and you want to take into account that if you have a really big prop, if you have any prop, you're going to want to take into account that it sticks up about a lot. So what I did is I made a 2 1/4 inch diameter jig. That's the diameter of my prop, and I just attached it to the back of the prop shaft here, and played with it a little bit till I got the right clearance, and it came out pretty good. So that's what I did. I mounted it in there. I put it in there and held it with some clamps, and this is all epoxied and glued in there to make it watertight and strong. This right here, this is a 3/8 inch stringer. It's pretty important. You need to put something like this in here, something to hold the other end of the prop shaft. Otherwise, the vibration of the motor and rocking back and forth and everything, it could break your prop shaft loose in the back here, and it could stay in position where you're turning all the time. So this is mandatory. You have to have something to hold the other end of the prop shaft. And obviously, as like I said, for up and down, you want to make sure it's centered left and right. Otherwise, your prop shaft could be off a little bit, and you could be turning right or left just when you're driving straight. And then you have to compensate with your rudders, and then that'll create drag, which could slow your ship down. That's a whole other thing. But just make sure it's straight, perfectly straight. And so you drill the hole and you put your prop shaft in. Now in the end here, on both ends, they're layered copper tubes like this to make it tight around the prop shaft. So once you get those in, you solder them in and cut them with a Dremel so they're even on both sides. And then what we want to do is put grease in the stubbing tube here. I used Vaseline, which is pretty good. So it worked for me. So once you get your grease in and your tube, you want to you get your prop shaft in. You want to get your prop on. So mine's already on, so I'm going to put the camera down just so I can tighten the nut. That's all I'm doing. I'm just tightening the hex nut that's in there. Alright, so I got the prop on. Now I need to put my lock collar on here. This is to make sure that the the shaft doesn't slide around. And you want to leave a little bit of a gap there so that the collar doesn't rub on the shaft and bind it up. Because that was one of the problems that I had, is it was binding and it was putting strain on the motor and causing it to draw more electricity than it needed, which blew out my resistor. So I've had to replace 2 of those this week, and it put a nasty hole, started eating a hole in my pocket. So I'm trying to fix this. Okay, so just tighten this down when you have a pretty, a good gap there. You don't want it too big, but you don't want it too small either. So it still moves around a little bit, still turns pretty freely. So that works pretty good. So now I'm gonna get the end connector on, and I wish, I can't turn the motor on right now because my resistor is blowing out. But if I could, I put it all together and then show you what I did, or show you how it works. So, get this on. So, and the way the dog bone here, it's going to be able to, or it's going to allow you to connect the motor to the. I wish I had 3 hands here. It's going to enable you to connect the motor to the drive shaft. So there we go. So that's on there. You want to make sure there's a little bit of play in there. I have to have a little bit more on mine because I accidentally cut my prop shaft a little too short when I was messing with it. But actually, that's pretty good for the first time. Oh, wrong prop. So it actually looks really good. It's not wobbling around that much. So it spins pretty freely. So it looks pretty good. So like I said, this is all the parts and components you're going to get with your prop shaft. Locking collar, 2 end connectors for your motor and the prop shaft, dog bone, prop shaft, and then the stuffing tube here. So, and then my motor here, I don't know, this is a 12-volt motor. I have my pumps are on 6 volts. This is the pump, and I have my motor on 12 volts. So, you come up with your own system, whatever you have. This mounting bracket here came with my kit, and all it is a piece of I don't know, maybe an 1/8 inch thick, 1/8 inch thick board or wood, and then little triangle pieces, one on this side and there's one on this side. You want to make sure you cut a little hole in the front here, or drill a little half circle in the front here to allow water in and out to flow freely through the ship so the pumps can get the water out. But that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. But one of the last things I'll go over wiring too. So there's a whole nother thing for that. But here's your resistor. I don't know if you can see. It's kind of I don't know. There's a gap in the wire there. You can kind of see it, but that right there, that's a gap, and that's what something happened and it fried it. Anyway, but yeah, that's pretty much it. It's simple. Seems a lot more complicated than it is, but the biggest thing with this is you have to make sure that your prop, when you drill the hole, you have enough clearance for your prop, and that it's at the right angle, up and down and left and right, so you don't want to be turning or putting your nose under the surface or anything. So that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. If you have any questions or anything, you can just comment or just go up to our website. And yeah, hope you learned something, and thanks for watching, and look for the next episode of How To.